Baker. 22. Hit. Shoot 2.
Test 1, 2. Staple has a Rebel rebound. Kendall turns and runs. She's not one to slow things down. Another perfect screen by Hatch, and this time it's Tingy with the finish on the left side.
Rich Rebel girls basketball is on.
Brown follows a screen inside right post. She missed the first shot, got her own board, and put it back up and in.
Coming off a second consecutive third-place finish at state, the Rebels return for the 2019-2020 season, with sights taking it to the next level.
Valentine, left corner three, her third triple of the quarter.
Coach Cody Lundgren returns for his 5th season on the bench.
She gets the pass in the right corner, three-point shot off the back of the iron, just missed by inches, but Brown chases down the Rebel rebound.
And with the athletes, the experience, and the will to win, the Rebels are ready to run.
Staple drives and floats from the left baseline and hits it.
MyLocalRadio.com presents Rich Rebel Basketball on KADQ FM 98.3 Rebel Radio, with live streaming video at MyLocalRadio.com.
JC goes free throw line. Hatch pulls the trigger and knocks it down. Sydney Hatch with the bucket.
Rich High School Hoops is presented by Evanston Regional Hospital, Plains Tire of Evanston, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, by Come On In of Casper, Auto Farm Chevrolet, the Bear Lake Convention and Visitor Bureau, The Store, and by MyLocalRadio.com.
Rebound, Rebels go the other way. Allie Wallenstein, perfect screen by Sydney Hatch. She just screened off the defense, and Allie finished on the left side with the drive.
And now, Rebel Roundball fans,
The Staple baseline jumper is good.
put on your lucky socks, set your seat to full recline, and get ready to cheer on the Rebels.
Hatch stuffs it. Sydney Hatch having a great couple of series.
As we head courtside to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Thursday, December 19th, game number 7 of this young season finds the Rebels in Camas, Utah, just a couple hours down the road from Randolph at South Summit High School. Welcome, Rebel fans, to Rich High School basketball on KDQ FM 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. Tonight, the Rebels battle the 3A South Summit Wildcats. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock, and in the meantime, we have your pregame show. We'll be right back with the Christopher Staple family scene set when we return on Rebel Radio and MyLocalRadio.com. Evanston Regional Hospital is an affiliate of the University of Utah Health. Our partnership builds on a long tradition of collaboration between Evanston Regional Hospital and University of Utah Health. Inside these doors, our dedicated staff is committed to being your caring partner in your healthcare journey. Whether you need an MRI or surgery, are expecting a new baby, or you're having a heart attack, Evanston Regional Hospital is here to help. Evanston Regional Hospital. Healing begins here.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Back at South Summit High School in the JV game, the Rebels trail 37-29. We're at South Summit, where the Rebels tonight will take on the Wildcats. Freshman game going on in a separate gym this evening. And looking ahead at today's matchup in the scene set, brought to you by Christopher Staple Family, wishing the Rebels the best. That's Sunshine Staple. I'm looking down here in front of me. I don't see Sunshine here tonight. Maybe he's across the way. Maybe he's grabbing a bite to eat. Either way, let's look at the visiting Rich Rebels first. Rich comes in at 6-0 on this young season, an undefeated record so far. They haven't played any Region 22 games yet, and impressively, the Rebels are scoring almost 53 and allowing under 38. That's a point differential of 15 points per game. The Rebels are averaging their wins by 15 points, and that's just about what they did the last time they took the court. A 14-point win at 2A Altamont. Now, that's an Altamont team that beat this South Summit team earlier this year in the first game of the season. That doesn't mean a whole lot. We'll see how these teams match up in the varsity game. But Rebels come in, as I mentioned, at 6-0 and looking to make it to 7-0. They beat South Summit last year, the last time these teams met. I'll tell you more about that in just a bit. South Summit comes into this game at 6-5 overall. As I mentioned, they lost their opener against Altamont. That was at Altamont, 45-37. They've beat Duchesne. They beat Tabiona by 11, 46-37. Lost a few games in there against 3A, 4A, 5A schools. And then recently, blown out by North Summit, but then they beat 4A Payson and 4A Tooele, 3A Delta. So they've gotten some good wins. They've won 3 in a row after that loss against North Summit. And South Summit comes in again at 6-5. One state title in their history. That was in 1991. Coach Tim Dawson is in his first season as the head coach of the South Summit Wildcats. Trevor Wagstaff was there for a few years and then got, I think, a job offer somewhere in a different school district, and that left the position open. Tim Dawson took it, and this is in his first year as coach. Last year, the Wildcats went 9-16 overall and lost in the first round. They didn't make the playoffs the year before that, and in 2016-17, lost in the first round against Enterprise. Last time they won a playoff game was 2014-15 when they went 16-6 overall and beat North Summit for 5th and 7th place. That was, again, at the end of the 2014-15 season. 39-29 the score in the JV game. 6:50 left in the fourth quarter of the JV game. And South Summit averaging 45 points a game, and defense is allowing about 48 points per game. As I mentioned, they were last in action against Ogden earlier this year and earned the win 65-44. Last time these teams met at Rich High School back December 13th last year at Rich, and South Summit held the lead for most of the game. In fact, led by 10 to start the third quarter, but Rich outscored the Wildcats 22-4 in that final period and came away with a 3-point victory. Now, these teams have met a bunch of times over the years. We'll tell you more about that on the Laketown Ledger coming up a little bit later on. But know that Rich won the last time these teams met. South Summit had won 2 in a row before that, but it was all Rich in the years prior to that during the 2000s. That's your scene set, brought to you by the Christopher Staple family. Sunshine Staple and the rest of the family wishing the Rebels the best. We're about 25 minutes away from the opening tip between the Rebels and the South Summit Wildcats. And in the meantime, we've got the Town and Country Realty Coaches Show. That's coming up when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. In 4-H, we believe young people have the power and influence to improve the world around us. With hands-on learning and education programs, 4-H members pledge their head to clearer thinking, their heart to greater loyalty, their hands to larger service, and their health to better living. To learn more about 4-H in Rich County, stop by our office in the county building in Randolph or give us a call at 435-793-2435. 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. Welcome back. Pre-game at South Summit. The Rebels and the Wildcats getting set to face off. 6 minutes left in the JV game, and South Summit leads by 10. Some of those same girls you see out there now will be varsity starters for this South Summit varsity team. And we've seen Reagan Sanderson out there quite a bit, and she'll start for the varsity. And she's a good player. Rich is going to have to be ready for her. She can hit from downtown. She'll drive and finish, dish it off as well. It's a good South Summit team, and Coach Tim Dawson told me earlier, we'll hear from him a little bit later on as well, but they're aggressive. It's a more aggressive team this year, and that's something Rich will have to be ready for. Well, we've got the Town and Country Realty Coaches Show coming up, but first, the Rich County 4-H Standout Student. Rich County 4-H empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. With senior Elaine Thompson at Rich High School. Elaine, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
How's your senior year going?
Really good, unexpectedly.
Okay, so first of all, what's going well then?
My college classes are going well, and my other high school filler classes, since I'm not getting my associates, it's actually going really well.
Then, and why unexpectedly? Did you not have high hopes for your senior year?
Yeah, I felt like it was going to be really hard, like thinking about colleges in the future, but Miss Muir is getting me lined out, so it's going to work out fine.
Tell me more about that. What are you lining out toward?
I'm going to go to Utah State in graphic design.
Have you done some graphic design already?
I have. I've done some shirts for the car show, Woodruff and Rust Revival car shows.
I think you told me about that before.
I did.
So what do you like about doing graphic design?
I like expressing a feeling so people can look at something and either recognize it or feel something from it.
Do you think designing logos is what you'd like to do, or is there a lot more to graphic design that you think you'd enjoy doing in the future?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more than I think there is, so I'm going to go and explore that, like all the different departments.
And do you know what it looks like? Will you get a bachelor's in fine arts and then find a job, or how will that go to get to a position where you're a graphic designer?
Yeah, so I think I'll get a BFA, but a fine arts degree won't get me too far, like an actual career. So throughout, I think my second year, I have to actually go into a graphic design major to later get that specific career.
And learn all the software, Photoshop and InDesign and all those, Adobe and all the others.
Yeah, lots of computer programs.
Do you already know some of those?
I do not.
When you designed the logo, the graphic for the car show, what did you do that on?
I just did it on Word, which was pretty difficult. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Because that's anything but a graphic design software.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty old.
Elaine, your senior year, what else is going well? Are you enjoying classes that you mentioned, enjoying the drill team?
Yes, classes and overall confidence with myself. 4th year of high school, feeling better about everything, and the drill team's going well.
I talked to one of your classmates earlier this year. It was like the second weekend, and she said that the year was taking way too long. That was the second weekend. How do you feel about the pace of your senior year, how things are going?
I think it's going good because once it's over, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be sad and wishing that I was back on the easy life.
What about the drill team? How are things going?
It's going really good. We had our second competition recently, and we did fairly good.
Are you feeling pretty confident in knowing the routine so that you can add those facial expressions and stuff?
Yeah, I'm confident, but as the season goes, we change a lot. So then that confidence changes, and then you have to regain it after you learn new parts of the dances.
Are you in which numbers or which dances are you in with Rich?
I am in dance, military, and character competition dances.
And do you have a favorite?
I like character because you can have attitude, be yourself, give yourself expression.
Is that the one with the diner? Is that the character?
Yeah, we're waitresses, yeah.
Do you enjoy going to the competitions?
I do.
You get to compete and perform. It's a fun time?
Yeah, puts all our hard work towards something.
Anything else we should touch on about the drill team?
We're just going to keep getting better every time.
Back to high school stuff, are there any activities or events happening in your senior year that you're looking forward to particularly the rest of the way? The prom or graduation or state basketball? I don't know, anything.
Maybe our senior trip, if we ever get it figured out.
You haven't planned it yet?
No, I wanted to go to California, but that's not an option. But we might get like an overnight.
You might need a little more than an overnight to get to California. So what is it looking like? I mean, isn't it usually just like down to Lagoon or something?
Yeah, something, but I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to do that.
You have more delusions of grandeur or what?
Yeah.
Like what? You have any other suggestions besides Lagoon?
No, but I wanted to go to California, go to the beach. But, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I have no idea.
Bear Lake Beach, you've been there. You don't want to go to that beach, right?
No, it's not the same.
If you want something different, you have to give suggestions. California didn't work, so what's your next suggestion?
I don't know.
The beaches of the Great Salt Lake.
I really don't. Just make memories, you know?
Any instruments or any hobbies that you have that you want to tell us about?
I love to TA. That's a new thing.
You doing that right now?
I am. I used to not like kids, but I go TA for kindergarten, and I really like it.
What do you think you like about it?
The little kids are just so, like, blunt. It's like a new reality because everyone else is, like, two-faced or anything, and the kids are just who they are.
Honest and sincere, genuine, what you get is what they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun thing. Okay. Is that it about you, Elaine?
That's it.
What's your favorite thing about being a rich rebel?
The opportunities, how everyone's very kind. You can figure out and do something you want for yourself.
Senior at Rich High School, member of the Rich Rebel drill team, Elaine Thompson. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck with the rest of your senior year, the state drill competition, and everything else.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure to talk with Elaine this week at Senior Rich High School. Elaine Thompson. The Standout Student interview is brought to you by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. Stay tuned. We've got more of the pregame show coming up in the JV action. The South Summit leads 43-31. Varsity set to start at 7 o'clock, and we'll have more of our pregame show when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Pam Cornea with Town & Country Realty in beautiful Bear Lake enthusiastically supports the Rich High Rebels.
After all, I raised 4 of them, from football, basketball, wrestling to volleyball. I supported them all. I bleed blue.
The Caribbean of the Rockies, Bear Lake, offers a variety of activities in every season. Pam would love to assist you in finding your own Bear Lake retreat. Call her today, 435-779-0012.
This is a Lady Rebel basketball coach, Cody Lundgren, and you're tuned in to the pregame show on Rebel Radio. Opening tip is less than 20 minutes away on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
Welcome to the Cody Lundgren Coaches Show, brought to you by Town & Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Pam Cornea at 435-779-0012. Last time these teams met was at Rich High School a year ago, December 13th, and the Rebels outscored South Summit 22-4 in that final period to come away with an 8-point victory. Both teams come into this one with 6 wins so far on the season. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Tim Dawson, and then we'll talk to Rebel head man Cody Lundgren and get his thoughts on tonight's game. We'll be right back with more of Rich Rebel basketball on KDQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com. You're invited to come in and visit with the team at Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley today. Our customers are our friends. If you haven't ever been in, stop in today. We'd love to get to know you. If you haven't been in for a while, stop in and let's get caught up. And if you were here yesterday, come back again soon. You always have an open invitation to visit the crew at Cache Honda Yamaha, where our customers are our friends, on US 91 between Logan and Smithfield.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
With Coach Tim Dawson of the South Summit Lady Wildcats basketball team. Coach, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Tell me about your, I guess, the Tim Dawson file. How'd you end up coaching the South Summit girls?
I came on as an assistant a couple years ago, was helping out with the younger crew, and then as Wagstaff left for Wasatch District, just the opening came up, I applied, and now I'm running with these girls as they're older.
How are things looking so far?
They're pretty aggressive this year. They're the offense seems to be a little bit more dynamic. We're pretty young, but we're pushing pretty hard. It's a good year.
Tell me about varsity experience you have coming back from last year's team.
We've got, I'd say, our main couple, Reagan Sanderson. She's a sophomore, and then we've got Bailey Cernich and Kylie Mimbach as seniors. They're honestly just defensive and offensive leaders of the team. They're scorers. They're confident. They bring some experience, and they're ready to go.
What's your focus as a coach? I mean, I think different coaches, maybe put more of an emphasis on defense or moving the ball or pushing the tempo, different things like that.
My main thing with this group has just been getting them to focus on their strengths and just make sure that no matter what the situation is or what kind of team we're facing, they're all doing what they can do best in every situation. So if she's a shooter, we're trying to get her to shoot. If she's great at defense, she's on the floor for that reason.
You've won the last 3 or 4 in a row. Is that a matter of, are you guys getting better? Have you hit your stride? Has the competition been a little less?
I think our losing streak there in the middle was at a tournament that we were honestly just kind of outranked. We had a lot of big schools. We were playing 5A schools. This tournament we beat a couple 5A schools, bigger schools, and I do think they're hitting their stride and got more experience under their belt.
You mentioned the team playing pretty aggressive. Have you seen that translate into holding other teams down, forcing a lot of turnovers?
Yeah, definitely more than last year, and we're protecting the ball a little bit better this year, so just more confident.
Do you have a picture? I mean, I know you haven't started your region play yet, but where you think you might fit in the region?
I think the rankings right now, they're early, obviously, but they've got us third, and I think top 3 in that competitive area is where we're going to end up.
Having been an assistant with South Summit for a couple of years, you're familiar with the Rich Rebels a little bit. You guys faced them last year, couple of years. And what do you remember or know about the Rebels?
They're good. You guys have that number 1, number 5. They're good shooters. They're hard to put down. I know they're having a good season this year, so that's kind of what we're prepared for, and hopefully we can bring it to you guys. So,
how much do you actually prepare for Rich versus just preparing for what you need to execute your team?
I'd say it's about in before we start playing games, it's 100% just our team, and then once we hit season play, we try to do about 50% just reminding our fundamentals and 50% team-specific stuff.
So stopping McKenna, Stacy, Allie, Wallenstein, anything else that you want to do tonight, see the girls do? Win or lose, what do you want to see from the girls?
We had a lot of turnovers against this team last year, and I just hope we limit that this time.
Anything else we should touch on, Coach?
Not sure.
Tim Dawson of the South Summit Wildcats. Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, again, a big thanks to Coach Tim Dawson for his time for that interview tonight on the pregame coaches show, brought to you by Town & Country Realty, Pam Cornea, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Stay tuned. We'll hear from Coach Cody Lundgren in just a moment. In the JV game, the Rebels down 13. McKee can't quite finish through contact with Reagan Sanderson. We've seen a lot of, in fact, at one point on the floor with this JV game, 4 varsity starters were out there for the South Summit Wildcats. You heard Coach Tim Dawson mention a lot of turnovers against the Rebels the last time these teams met. That was 23 by my count, so it's unofficial, but certainly was a lot of turnovers that South Summit had in that loss against Rich last year. There's a turnover for the JV team. Smith, right side, Lutz shoots, partially blocked, and Rich JV is going to fall a bit short in this one with under 30 seconds to go, and Reagan Sanderson has been a big part of that. Rebels will have to watch out for her in the varsity game. She's a solid ball handler. If you try to press, well, she's broken a lot of presses just on her own with good dribbling, a lot of quick movement and dribbling down the court. Down to 10 seconds left in this JV game. And we just heard from Coach Tim Dawson of the South Summit Wildcats. We'll hear from Coach Cody Lundgren in just a moment when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m., we invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
When you're looking for one location that is centrally located in Wyoming to host a business meeting or corporate retreat, always consider the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper first. With meeting rooms and amenities that everyone can enjoy at the Come On In is the best place to host events. The rustic decor, fireplaces, jacuzzis, pool, and large indoor atrium will make your event memorable. Call today and find out the ways we can help make your event a success. Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper. Call 307-472-6300.
Back at South Summit High School and the Rebel pregame show. Rebels JV team just finished up action against the South Summit JV 47-36. The 3A Wildcats with the win there. Rebel girls just took the court and are starting to warm up. South Summit will be out there soon. And getting ready to roll. We're in the middle of the Town & Country Realty Coaches Show. Call Pam Cornea today at 435-779-0012. Rebels coming in at 6-0. South Summit with 6 wins as well, but they've played another 5 games at which they've lost. So 6-5, their record so far on this season. Now the UHSAA released its RPI today. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in our pregame show as well when we return with Coach Cody Lundgren on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
With Cody Lundgren of the Rich Rebel girls basketball team. Coach, a couple good wins again, last weekend.
Yeah, great wins, Ryan. I was proud of the girls, and, in both of those games, they were both pretty physical, and the teams were fast, and the girls sustained the ups and downs, and they stayed even, and they just kept playing hard, and I'm really proud of that.
Lyman, at least in my memory the last few years, has been one of the more physical teams you play, and you guys not only matched that physicality, at times you were setting the tone physically.
Yeah, at times maybe too much because we got in foul trouble, but our girls were fighting back all the time, and they were within the system though. Ryan, they weren't just lashing out; they were playing harder. So I'm proud of the effort that they showed there.
Is that a big advantage at a 1A state level? Are you guys a more physical team? Does that help you win?
I think so. But it's hard because a lot of times you get down to state and you have different officials every night, and so the games are called different. So I think it's to our advantage that our girls keep working on adjusting their play to meet what the officials are looking for that night.
Tell me about the Altamont game. I wasn't able to be there, but defensively you shut them down.
Yeah, I thought we played some great man defense, and, we're working on a 2-3 zone still right now, and it's looking pretty good still. So defensively we looked very good, and offensively we looked very good. They ran a box and one against us, and we got some really good looks out of our set for that, and just proud of how the girls stayed consistent and played hard.
Looking at the score sheet, and you mentioned the box and one with McKenna, you had some others step up, and you have to have that. It was a good preparation for other teams like Tabiona that you'll play this year.
Yeah, it was great. With the team that we got, we'll see a box and one, we'll see a try and two, we'll see a bunch of junk defenses from different teams, and with our sets that we have, we should be ready for anything we see.
You got a couple good games this week. You stay on the road, and Thursday a big one at 3A South Summit.
Yeah, I've been looking at scores, and South Summit's looks like they're doing some very good things. So that's going to be a tough game for us. South Summit's always a tough place to play, in my opinion. They've got great fans, and they cheer loud for their girls. So it's great for us to go there and play.
You've got these games this week. The boys are at Flaming Gorge, and in the past, your team had gone to Flaming Gorge. What's the value of not going there and playing teams like South Summit and Westside?
In my opinion, I think it's good for these girls to be around when it's close to the Christmas season like it is, to be with their families and stuff and not in a hotel. So that's just my opinion on that with these kids. And we're getting great competition from these other teams, so, I think we're getting some out of both of it.
Coach, speaking of the Christmas break and some time the girls will get off, do you have anything that you want them to do when you can't have practice those few days?
I want them to be with their families and spend some time with them. It's a long season, and it's good to be with their families at that time of year. But hopefully they'll get in the gym a little bit and shoot the ball a little bit and work on their own skills.
After this week, you're kind of at a junction type point of the season, right? It feels like a break, almost like a halfway point, even though it's not quite there. But how do you feel like the team's at? Do you give yourself a grade at this point of the year?
I'm very happy with these girls right now. The ability for them to be coached and to listen and make adjustments. Every halftime we've had so far, we've made adjustments at the half, and the girls have came out and executed exactly what we wanted. So, as a coach, it's fun seeing kids that'll do that and make those changes for you.
Any thoughts on the new Deseret News rankings this week with Rich at number 1?
I don't try to pay much attention to that, but, I'm excited for these kids. They've worked hard for everything they get, so hopefully they just keep working hard and stay focused, and the most important thing right now is South Summit.
Coach, anything else we should touch on?
No, thanks, Ryan.
Cody Lundgren of the Rich Rebels, thank you for your time, Coach, and good luck this week.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks so much, Coach Lundgren. Always a pleasure to talk with Cody. The Rebel JV and freshman teams games already took place. Varsity out on the court now. We're about 13, 14 minutes away from tip-off and today's action, so a little bit behind the scheduled tip-off time of 7 p.m. tonight. Teams are out on the court warming up, and that'll do it for our Coaches Show, brought to you by Town & Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Call Pam Cornea today at 435-779-0012 and work with Town & Country Realty. They got properties throughout the Bear Lake Valley, and Pam can help you out. 435-779-0012. Rebel fans starting to fill in the gym. We'll tell you a little bit more about the atmosphere tonight's game on the Old Chicago Pizza pregame slice. That's coming up, along with our Town of Lake Town Ledger, Town of Woodruff starting lineups, and more, as well as some Lazy BT Ranch, Lazy BT brand keys of the game. All that and more coming up. Again, you've been tuned in to the Town & Country Realty Coaches Show. We'll also take a look at the RPI that was released today by the UHSAA, the inaugural RPI for this season, the first one. Coming up, we'll talk about that when we return on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Ken Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit bearlakerealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Back at South Summit High School, if you're tuning into, we had a lot of action today on the radio at K9 99.1 FM and here on KADQ FM 98.3, and a full schedule this weekend of games with Mountain View, Lyman, Evanston, and Rich Boys at the Flaming Gorge Classic, and that some of that schedule includes tonight Lyman versus Rock Springs girls. Jake Hibbert will have the call for that one on K9 99.1 FM, our sister station. If you listened earlier, you may have heard Evanston take on Laramie's boys, and Laramie won by 10 in that game. Elin Olive had the call. Tomorrow, Evanston versus South girls. Elin will be on the air at 12:30. And then there's also an online-only broadcast of Grace versus Riverton with Elin. Games throughout the day with Elin Olive, Jake Hibbert. I'll have Rich Rebel girls tomorrow night at Westside. And if you're interested, the three-point and slam dunk contest, you can tune in live online at mylocalradio.com. Elin Olive and Jake Hibbert will have the call beginning about 7:45, and that's an online video broadcast of the Flaming Gorge Tournament three-point and slam dunk contest at Green River High School tomorrow. Let's get back to this one tonight and jump into the Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Laketown Ledger, the town of Laketown, good luck Rebels from the Mayor, Town Council of Laketown. Last time these teams met was at Rich just more than a year ago, the 13th of December, and Rich took advantage of 23 South Summit turnovers, including 8 in the third quarter. And Rich came from behind, outscored South Summit 22-4 in the final period. The Wildcats went just 2 of 7 from the free throw line in that fourth quarter, and that was part of what helped Rich get back into it and then end up winning by 8 points. In that game, the Rebels were led by McKenna Stacy's 19 points, 7 of 10 from the free throw line, and 7 rebounds. J.C. Cornea had 8 points, and Sydney Hatch 4. Allie Wallenstein 6, Sage Tingy with 4. Those who returned from South Summit and scored last year. Now, Grace Olson was a senior. She led the team in scoring against Rich a year ago. But you've got Mariah Sargent, who scored 8 points, and she did not come back to play this year. Neither did a couple of others. So looking at who came back from last year's squad, Bailey Cernich had 4 points. Reagan Sanderson last year as a freshman scored 7 in the game against Rich. And that about does it for scoring for what South Summit did against Rich, the girls that played last year and returned for this year. So Rich certainly has a lot more coming back, but this is still a 3A South Summit team. And I tell you, Reagan Sanderson, I was impressed with her in that JV game. She'll be tough to defend no matter what team she's playing against. And Rich varsity will have to be ready for her. So Rich won that game last year, 43-35. South Summit had won 2 in the series prior to that, 43-27 and 14-15 and 45-41 in a close one in 2015-16. But before that, the Rebels had won 5 in a row from 08-09 every season through 2012-13. And prior to that, I don't have Rich and South Summit playing. Now, I know they played before that, but my records go back as far as the 01-02 season. And in that span, Rebels are 6-2 against South Summit, 6 wins, 2 losses. And again, Rich won the most recent matchup a year and 6 days ago, December 13th at Rich High School. That's your Town of Laketown Ledger, brought to you by Mayor Burdette Weston, council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back to talk RPI, plus more of the pregame show, including the Thompson Ranch keys of the game, the Town of Woodruff starting lineups, and the Old Chicago pregame slice when we return on KDQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
Back on the pregame show, Ryan STEINECKERT here at South Summit High School. As the Rebels get set to take on the South Summit Wildcats, let's jump into a few items to take care of some business in our pregame show. And we start with the Thompson Ranch keys of the game. Thompson Ranch and the Lazy BT brand wish the Rebels the best. Number one is defend the paint. And anytime you play a bigger team, you have to worry about a difference in level of physicality, speed, and a big part of that also usually or often comes with size. And this is a fairly big, tall South Summit team. They've got good size, and they pulled down a lot of offensive rebounds in that JV game. The Rebels varsity will have to box out better and control the paint or defend the paint. Number one, getting those rebounds. Number two, just defending, right? Not giving up those easy baskets down inside to the South Summit Wildcats. And that actually is partly what number two Thompson Ranch key of the game as well is the battle of the boards. Rebels have to box out and not give up extra chance points. South Summit will crash the boards. They got a lot of offensive rebounds and extra opportunities for easy points against the JV team, and they did that last year again in the varsity against Rich as well, and that's something Rich is going to have to keep at a minimum, to win that battle of the boards and defend the paint. And number three, the golden rule. Of course, the rule of the golden rule is that the ball is gold, and the Rebels have to treat it like such, or treat it as such, and take care of that thing. Limit turnovers, keep turnovers to a minimum, and force some turnovers when they can. Take that rock over when they get a chance. And that's the golden rule. Take care of the basketball. Those are your keys of the game, brought to you by Lazy BT brand and the Thompson Ranch. Moving on to your Old Chicago Pizza pregame slice. Rebels will be, of course, on the road tonight. They'll be in the road blues. South Summit in the home whites. Red Gymnasium, a lot of state championships. If you look up to the left, most recently in football, they won a few titles just within the past couple of years. In fact, just I think last year, 2018. I don't have that banner up yet, but a 2017 banner up over there. It's the home of the Wildcats in South Summit, Camas, Utah, a school that's growing and has moved up to 3A a couple of years ago and continues to get a little bit bigger. Fans filtering in, and expect to have a good, rowdy crowd tonight. Rebel fans right here down in front of us, and looking for a fun night of basketball at South Summit High School. That's your Old Chicago Pizza pregame slice. Old Chicago Pizza. Pizzas and more built from scratch. One delicious fresh ingredient at a time at 795 East, 1400 North in Logan. All right, one more item in our pregame coverage. That is the Saby Trucking opening tip-off and the Town of Woodruff starting lineups. We'll do the starting lineups with the school when they do their starting lineup. So what I want to get to right now is a little chat about, if you care and are aware of it, you probably already saw the RPI ratings or rankings that were released today. And we're going to look at both 1A and 3A since Rich is playing a 3A team tonight. The Rebels in this week's Deseret News ranking, coaches' rankings, were placed at number one ahead of Panguitch. And boy, in the RPI rating that was released today, Rich well ahead of the next competitor down in the RPI. Rich at a .864 and number two, Whitehorse, at a .726. No surprise that Rich is at number one. It's having started 6-0, they've played only two 1A teams. The rest of their opponents have been 2A and 3A opponents, including tonight at South Summit. No surprise to see Whitehorse up there high. They're a very solid team, and that wouldn't be surprised again to see Rich and Whitehorse in a championship game if they end up on opposite sides of the bracket. Of course, Valley's a tough team. Paiute, Milford, Tabiona, Monument Valley, Bryce Valley. I'm surprised they come in at number 8, but then you look at at a 3-3 win-loss record. They beat Panguitch earlier this week. Water Canyon ahead of Panguitch at number 10. And you could argue points and where different teams are, but again, in the first releasing the first rating, don't look too much into that, except I think you can look into the fact that Rich is at number 1, Water Canyon at number 2, and I don't be surprised if those two teams finish in the top 2 or 3 at worst at the end of the season. Those are good quality programs, and obviously we know that with the Rich Rebels. Looking at the 3A girls RPI ratings, South Sevier comes in as first, Judge Memorial second. You got Grantsville, Richfield, Carbon, San Juan, Emory, and South Summit comes in at number 8 with a 6-5 record overall. And so South Summit in the top half, the top 8, in fact, in those initial RPI ratings for 3A girls basketball. So an interesting thing. We'll keep an eye on that RPI rating throughout the season. Make sure to tune in Monday mornings on K9, our sister station, 99.1 FM for Rebel. We'll talk about that RPI rating probably about every week. Maybe going a bit more in depth next week as Rich has some games this weekend. We'll talk about those this coming Monday. And then the next weekend, or the next Monday morning, won't have any games to cover, so we may give a little more in depth on the RPI that Monday. Now, also want to mention I failed to mention this earlier this week. The 2019 Volleyball All-State teams were released, and no surprise that Panguitch's Kaisa Miller, a senior, was named the 1A MVP. A couple of Rebels on that first team with Sydney Hatch and Allie Wallentine. Hatch, a middle blocker, Wallentine, an outside hitter, both on the first team. Rebels also, I think, had a couple of the rest of the first team. Talia Norris of Panguitch, Isabel Ace from ICS, Matea Barney from Panguitch, Kinley Spalding of Milford, and J.C. Rose of Milford. All right, so looks like the fans are standing. They're on their feet, and we'll have the national anthem coming up here in a moment. We'll keep it right here for the time being and just kind of keep an eye on things. We've got your Town of Woodruff starting lineups coming up. Also the Saby Trucking opening tip-off in a moment. We will take a quick break and be back with those things on our pregame coverage of Rich at South Summit on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. We invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Sometimes I'll have a technical issue, and I feel like I'm the only one that ever has those problems. But the microphone here at South Summit is a wireless mic, and it's having its own technical issues. I'm not glad for that, but I'm glad I'm not the only one that has those type of issues. Usually it's me dealing with that at this time, point of the ball game. So we'll take this opportunity to kind of look ahead at what's coming up tomorrow on our broadcast schedule on K9 and KADQ. And on KACH in Preston, and mylocalradio.com. We got a couple of online broadcasts, online-only broadcasts, including Grace versus Evanston at 2:30, or Grace versus Riverton at 2:30, and then tomorrow night the three-point and slam dunk contest at 7:45 p.m. Looks like they decided to. With the microphone not working, a gentleman with a nice loud voice. Oh, and the mic just started working.
It's a miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. It's a Festivus miracle, I think.
We'll have the national anthem sung by
Flag comes down, and Alyssa Morgan will sing the national anthem. So we'll take a quick break and be right back. Pam Cornea with Town & Country Realty in beautiful Bear Lake enthusiastically supports the Rich High Rebels.
After all, I raised 4 of them, from football, basketball, wrestling to volleyball. I supported them all. I bleed blue.
The Caribbean of the Rockies, Bear Lake, offers a variety of activities in every season. Pam would love to assist you in finding your own Bear Lake retreat. Call her today, 435-779-0012. Evanston Regional Hospital is an affiliate of the University of Utah Health. Our partnership builds on a long tradition of collaboration between Evanston Regional Hospital and University of Utah Health. Inside these doors, our dedicated staff is committed to being your caring partner in your healthcare journey. Whether you need an MRI or surgery, are expecting a new baby, or you're having a heart attack, Evanston Regional Hospital is here to help. Evanston Regional Hospital. Healing begins here.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Well, we're back at South Summit High School. I want to thank Gary McKee running our camera tonight. Camera is operated and provided by Bear Lake Realty, the highest volume and most experienced realtor in the Bear Lake Valley. The Rebels and the Wildcats getting set to face off, and it's Rich, of course, the visitors tonight, so we'll give you their starters first, and we look at the Town of Woodruff starters, brought to you by the Town of Woodruff, Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, a junior number 1, McKenna Stacy, junior number 2, Sage Tingy, a senior number 5, Allie Wallentine. The Rebels they rotate between number 23, Eliana Brown, a senior, number 32, Sydney Hatch, a senior, and a junior, J.C. Cornea, not getting the start tonight as she started last week at Altamont. Allie Wallentine comes in at 10.5 points per game. McKenna Stacy at just about 19 points per contest to go along with 6.5 steals, 3 assists, and 5.5 rebounds, plus almost 1 block per game. Starters for the home team, the South Summit Wildcats, who come in at 6-5 overall. They'll start at junior number 20, Sadie Eiding, a senior number 22, Bailey Cernich, leading the way, or she and Reagan Sanderson with just almost 11 points a game each. Number 24, a senior Kylie Mimbach, a junior number 25, Presley Christensen, and a sophomore number 31, Reagan Sanderson. You'll notice that Sanderson not a lot of height, but she is quick and a very smart and good ball handler. But the size comes in with Bailey Cernich, number 22, and number 25, Presley Christensen. You'll see there on your Station on Main scoreboard tonight. You'll be able to look there. The yellow number is there on your scoreboard. The yellow numeral is the number of the player on the court. The green is for fouls. The red is for points, and it'll be Wildcats on the left, the home side, and the Rebels on the right, the visitor side. That's if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com. Sydney Hatch against Presley Christensen for the tip. The starting lineups were brought to you by the Town of Woodruff, Mayor Scott Saby, and the rest of the council members, with Secretary Lisa Bell wishing the Rebels good luck. Here's your Saby Trucking opening tip-off, brought to you by Scott and Diana Saby. Christensen tipped it, Hatch tipped it as well, and then Christensen able to tip it back to her teammate. Sanderson, long pass to the left corner. They go down inside looking for Christensen, and she can't get the shot off. Blocked away out of bounds. Kylie Mimbach was the one who gave the entry pass, and Sanderson will inbound on the baseline after that ball went out of bounds. Lob into Mimbach. Outside, and Cernich dribbles to her right. Rebels in, looks like a man-to-man defense. We'll keep an eye on that. It is man-to-man. Sanderson gets by the D, floats it up. It goes over the top of the rim. Offensive board, no. Another offensive board, and the putback is in. The second time by Bailey Cernich. South Summit leads 2-0. I heard Coach Lundgren shout rebound before that second offensive board. South Summit set up in a box-and-one zone is what it looks like, with Sanderson defending man-to-man on Stacy. Wallentine, left wing three, off the window, no. Rims out, and Cernich has the rebound for the Wildcats. Across the timeline, Cernich brings it herself, follows a screen down to her right on the baseline, skips it across to Mimbach for three from the left corner, swishes it through, and South Summit up early, 5-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Full court pressure from the Wildcats, and the Rebels break it. Pass up under the key is deflected away out of bounds by Cernich. Tingy looking for, I think it was Brown. And Rich sets up for an inbound play brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Stacy inbounds. She's got Brown down on the left block. Shot is blocked by Cernich. It's loose, and Mimbach comes up with it. Gives to Cernich. Cernich and Mimbach, the two seniors on the South Summit squad. Cernich dribbles to her right, looks to dish it off. Nobody defends her, so she just takes it all the way to the hoop. And South Summit leads 7-0. Rebels break the press up ahead to Tingy, who finishes on the right side. And Rich scores for the first time, trailing 7-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Almost 2 minutes into this first quarter. Sanderson dribbles left, runs into Hatch. Tingy tips the ball. It goes off of Sanderson and out. And there's an early turnover for South Summit. That's something Coach Dawson wanted to see his team avoid tonight. And that's one of our Lazy BT brand keys of the game. Rich has to force some turnovers and really take care of it. Left wing to Wallentine. Now this may not be a box and one. Stacy in the right corner, open three. Yes, swishes through. And the Rebels climb to within 5. That's a T7 Propane and Woodruff three-pointer from McKenna Stacy. Each team has a 3. The difference so far, 1 field goal by South Summit. Sanderson bounces left side to Christensen. Back out. Sanderson launches from deep and hits back iron. No good. Rebound out high. Tingy chases it down. Dribbles to her right. Drives in. Steps past the D. Ball stripped away from her and out of bounds off the Rebels. Must have hit her knee. Her body was blocking my view of what happened, but it was, off her knee. Rebels set up in a half-court trap. Cernich dribbles into a double team, gives off to Sanderson, back towards Cernich, but Stacy tipped it. Up ahead, Wallentyne to Stacy. She saves it. Tingy puts it up and in off the window, and the Rebels have tied it at 7. Sage Tingy with 4 points. Rebels almost force another turnover, but a foul, a reach in on the Rebels. A little bit of a contact there, and I think it was Stacy. No, it was Tingy who picked up her first personal foul. In that JV game at the end of the first half, Rich had, I think, 10 fouls. South Summit had 1. But in South Summit's defense and the officials' defense, Rich was not attacking the hoop. They were settling for a lot of outside shots, and Rich varsity has to avoid that if South Summit stays in the zone defense we've seen them start in. Sanderson to her left. Takes a quick step, dribbles inside to Cernich. Shot, no. Rebound tipped up, and ripping it down is Sadie Eiding. She's wrapped up for a jump ball, and I said Cernich at first. It was actually Eiding. Possession arrow to the Rebels, so that's a Mountain Valley Cattle Company jump ball brought to you by Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Stacy against the half-court trap to Wallentyne, back to Stacy. McKenna dribbles up, long pass. She's got Brown on the left block. 1 dribble across the lane to Tingy, wide open 2. Rich leads 9-7. Boys and girls, that's how you break a press. Pay attention, take some notes. That was pretty. 4:42. That may be your early candidate for the McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. Cernich, right corner to Mimbach. Fakes the shot, gives to Eiding. Up on the right elbow, just outside the wing, or outside the three-point arc. To Cernich in the lane. Bounces across, looking for... She was looking for Bailey, or Cernich was looking for Christensen. The pass went errant, out of bounds, and I think South Summit thought the Rebels deflected it, but the officials didn't see a deflection, neither did I. Rebel basketball. Tingy dribbles toward her right, picks up the dribble, and has to bounce to Wallentyne. Alley bounces in. Hatch into the middle. Tingy attacks and finishes. Sage Tingy with 8 first-quarter points, and the Rebels lead 11-7. And that's what you have to do against a zone like this is work the ball around, attack. Stacy pokes it away from Sanderson on the floor. Stacy gives it back to Brown. Up ahead to Tingy. Sage goes to the hoop, can't get it to go. Stacy, the offensive board, put back, rattles in. Offensive board and the putback for Stacy after she got the steal. 13-7. Rich on top by 6. South Summit had a 7-0 lead. Rich has scored 13 straight. Mimbach down on the baseline, misses a bit short. Offensive board by Eiding, and she's fouled on the putback attempt. Foul charge to Allie Wallentyne. Her first personal, Rebel second team foul. South Summit has yet to commit a foul, and J.C. Cornea checks in with 3:30 left in the first quarter. Mimbach to inbound, lobs in. Cernich goes high to receive. Cornea on her, and Cernich dribbles around her, but she stepped on the baseline. That's a 4th turnover this first quarter for South Summit. Rebels started slow, but they have come on strong. 13-0 run, that's right. Yeah, Gary McKee, our camera operator, just pointed that out to me. Wallentyne on the left wing, way out high against the zone. Inside, Cornea, quick handoff to Hatch. Left block is in. 15-7, a 15-0 Rebel run, and Sydney Hatch this time with the bucket. Cernich into the lane, dishes off. Sanderson drives down to the baseline, scoops it up and misses. Cernich the offensive board, put back, can't get it to go, and Wallentyne rips it down among the tall trees of South Summit. Rebels push the tempo. Tingy across the lane. Cornea too strong, rebound tipped, and Cernich has it. Strong board by Cernich of South Summit. She'll go coast to coast through the lane. Euro step off the glass, no, but she's fouled. Wallentyne just picked up her second. That's not good news for Rebel fans. Allie has not taken a shot yet in this one, but she's got a pair of rebounds. And they need her ball handling out there. So Cernich at the free throw line. And she swishes the first one. She's got 3 points. That's the first bucket for South Summit. They took a 7-0 lead, had not scored as Rich went on a 15-0 run. And ends that 15-0 run there with the free throw. Bailey Cernich a second free throw opportunity and hits the right side of the iron. Can't get it. Sydney Hatch with the Rebel rebound. 15-8, Rich up by 7. Stacy slowly across the timeline as the Rebels attack left to right at mylocalradio.com. Sanderson defending out high on Tingy. Dishes off to Staple. She just checked in for Wallenstein. Kendall sees a lane, takes it all the way to the hole and lays it in with the left hand. Kendall Staple going beast mode, and the Rebels lead by 9, 17-8 with a timeout on the floor. And we'll take one as well, brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Well, South Summit jumped out to a 7-0 lead. The Rebels win on a 15-0 run, and they've outscored the Wildcats 17-1 since that point. Rich leads 17-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard with a couple of minutes left in the first quarter. Rebels girls will be back in action tomorrow night at Westside. You can watch that one live on mylocalradio.com. And then the boys tonight taking on Manila. They'll take on Pinedale tomorrow and face Mountain View on Saturday. We'll have that game with Mountain View live here on mylocalradio.com as well. That's Saturday morning, 11:20. Dribbling to her right, Cernich all the way into the lane, floats it up and gets it to go. Wow. That's some soft touch from the senior, 17-10. Dribbling through traffic, splitting the defense. Ugly sweater night here at South Summit High School. The student section, I see more ugly sweaters than a Walmart. Stacy in the lane, pulls up, free throw line, Jay, just short. Cornea offensive rebound, ball stripped away from her. Stacy had it for a moment, but Cernich grabs it and rips it away. Sanderson up ahead to Mimbach. Left baseline, jumper, no! Blocked, but she was fouled. Sydney Hatch will pick up her first. Hatch picks up her first. That's a Rebel fourth team foul. South Summit with the bagel in the foul category, much like we saw in the JV game. Lopsided number on that scoreboard. Mimbach, first free throw, rims in and out. A senior, Kylie Mimbach, has 3 points already, averages 6 points a game with about 3 rebounds. Second free throw, back iron, bounces twice, then to the front iron and down through. I've never had that kind of shooter's roll. I don't have that shooter's touch that Mimbach has. Right wing, Stacy fakes the three, drives past Sanderson, foul, a late whistle. Boy, I thought they were going to let her get away with that. They didn't. Stacy heads to the free throw line for a couple of Bear Lake Realty free throws. You recognize him? Stacy at the Bear Lake Realty free throw line, shooting 2. First one swishes through. McKenna has 6 in the ball game. Stacy this season at the free throw line, a 67% shooter. That's been consistent from game 1. She hit, I think, 2 of 3. She's been about 67% all season long. Second free throw, back iron and down through. Puts the Rebels up 19-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard with a minute and a half left in the first. Cernich dribbles left, back to her right. Then out in the corner, Mimbach for another 3. Got it, front iron and down through with pretty close to nothing but net. 19-14, a 5-point Rebel lead. Brown at the top of the key. Stacy cutting through the lane, turns, and she's fouled. If that's Sanderson, it would be her second. It's not Sanderson. Sadie Eiting just picked up her first personal. Second team foul against the Wildcats sends Stacy back to the line for 2 more Bear Lake Realty free throws. Visit bearlakerealty.com. Stacy's first, eases down through, and she'll have another. McKenna, a couple of dribbles, a spin. Takes her time once she gets it up there and then fires and hits. McKenna 4 for 4 at the line tonight. Rich up by a touchdown, 21-14 on the Station on Main scoreboard. First quarter. Eiding in the lane, shoots just short. Good defense. Rebels contested but didn't foul, and Ellie Brown pulls down the rebound. Stacy long pass ahead looking for Cornea, throws it away. Too long. Brown pulls down her, I've got that as a second rebound of the game. 1:03 left in the first. Rich on top by 7. South Summit with the ball after the Rebels' third turnover of this first quarter. Cernich, who against Rich last year scored 4 points as a junior. Dribbles to her right. Cornea defending, or it was McKee, TJ defending. Deflected the pass a bit and then came up with the loose ball. That's a Rich County government steal. McKee had Staple down in the right block, but wisely held off on the pass. Cernich was trying to bait her, I think. 40 seconds to go in the first, and Rich leads by 7. Brown on the right side, hands off to Stacy, fights through some pressure, and Sanderson just picked up her second personal. If the refs saw what I just saw, and they did. Stacy was trying to drive, and Sanderson using her hands to push back. That'll be Reagan Sanderson's second personal foul here in this first quarter. TJ on the right wing. Looks to her left, gives to Stacy, sets a screen. McKenna into the lane, dishes off. Brown, right angle jumper. 10-footer over the top. It hit the front rim and bounced over. And the rebound was pulled down by Alexis Atkinson. Rebels contested and fouled Atkinson. I failed to see who committed the foul. Oh, it was McKenna Stacy with her first. So that's a Rebel 5th team foul with 21 seconds left in the first quarter, and Rich up 21-14. Tingy back into the game for Rich, defending man-to-man on Cernich. Dribbles left, gives to Christensen. Brown on her. Down inside, they go backdoor. Atkinson stripped by TJ McKee. Out of bounds off of Rich, and South Summit inbounds from the baseline. Cernich to trigger it in. Rebels in a man-to-man defense. Looking up top, they get it to Sanderson. Dribbles to her left, pulls up at the free throw line. Lost her footing a bit, and the the shot went short. Tingy with the rebound, sprints to half court, launches it after the buzzer and misses high. So at the end of one, after Rich went on a monster 17-1 run, the Rebels lead 21-14. After the first 8 minutes of this contest, we'll take a quick timeout and be right back with second quarter action on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Folks have many reasons to visit Casper, Wyoming every year, whether it's work, high school sports and activities, a romantic getaway, or business meetings. The best place to stay when you're in Casper is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. A beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, a pool, fitness center, and a fabulous indoor atrium. You can also reserve meeting rooms for your next event, and each stay includes an extended continental breakfast. Reserve your rooms today at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. Call 307-472-6300.
Wildcats scored the first 7. Rebels scored the next 15. And Rich leads 21-14 as we start quarter number 2. Brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Need a repair? Take it to the ones who truly care. Presley Christensen, top of the key 3. Swish. Swished that one. Splashed it in. 21-17. Presley Christensen. We saw her attempt a couple of threes in the JV ball game. Didn't ever connect, I don't think, on any of those. But Staple out on the right wing. Up top to Tingy, left wing, TJ. Inside, she's got Staple. Shot blocked. Staple pulls it in, but she's on the baseline. Good defense by South Summit. They've switched to a man-to-man defense. They were in the zone for a lot of that first quarter, but when your opponent scores 21 points, you got to think about moving out of that zone and into a man-to-man. Cernich dribbles left. Tingy on her. Outside, TJ defending Sanderson. Drives the baseline, puts it up and in off the window. Sanderson with a nice move. And South Summit is within 2, 21-19. Rebels on top, but they haven't scored in a couple of minutes. They led 21-14, but South Summit on a 5-0 run to start the second quarter, including a 2-0 run to end the first. TJ dribbles, drives, up off the glass. It rims around and out. Too strong on the shot. Presley Christensen with the rebound for South Summit. Sanderson pushing up to court, loses the handle and lost it out of bounds. Rebel basketball. Stacy checks in, and Staple checks out. South Summit sets up in a zone trap, a 2-2-1. McKee up to midcourt. Brown looks, then dribbles, then has it poked away. Bailey Cernich with the steal. Rebel 5th turnover of the game. That ties South Summit with 5 turnovers. Cernich goes coast to coast, misses. Rebound over the top of the Rebels. They miss the shot, and Brown chases down the Rebel rebound this time. Stacy tries to go coast to coast as well. Dishes off right corner. McKee for 3. TJ, yes! TJ McKee for the triple, 24-19. McKee with her first T7 Propane and Woodruff three-pointer of the ball game. And Rich back up by 5. Cernich dribbles to her right, looking for the pick and roll. Tries to bounce through the Rebel defense and threw it at the feet of McKenna Stacy, who closed her feet together and knocked it out of bounds. Cody Lundgren in his 5th season coaching this Rich Rebel girls basketball team. RPI released this morning has Rich number 1. Rebels are 6-0. South Summit at number 8 in 3A in today's initial RPI rating that was released. Cernich follows a screen to her right. Strong screen by Atkinson. Kick it across. Sanderson for 3. Left wing. Swish. Cernich makes the long pass from the right side clear to the left wing, and Sanderson catch and shoot. Buries it. Back to a 2-point game. Stacy drives right by Sanderson. Tripped up. Misses the shot. Rebound on the floor. Rebels fight for it. Tingy chases it down in the corner, but can't quite hold on to it out of bounds. Well, South Summit has outscored Rich so far in this second quarter, 8-3. And we take a timeout. 5:25 left in the Stacy's Repair second quarter here on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care. Rebels coming out of that timeout. Coach Lundgren focusing on defense during that timeout. They've allowed 8 points through the first, 2.5 minutes in this second quarter. Sanderson on the left baseline, dribbles the baseline, bounces it across. Atkinson shoots, stuffed. J.C. Cornea has it, rips it away from Cernich, but a jump ball. That'll give it to Rich on the possession arrow. That's a Mound Valley Cattle Company jump ball brought to you by Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Rebels with a bunch of Rich County government, with a bunch of Bear Lake Physical Therapy points in the paint. Bear Lake Physical Therapy helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. Sage Tingy had 8 points in the first quarter, all of those down in the paint. Against a lot of it against South Summit's full court press, which they've backed out of. It was ineffective, and Rich scored a ton of points. Hatch at the top of the key to Tingy. Stacy, left wing, thought about the long 3, passed it up. Sanderson defending out on her. It's a sophomore defending a junior. 4:47 left in the Stacy's Repair second quarter. Brown looks free throw line. Ball was tipped, and a jump ball, this time possession arrow to the Wildcats, and that's the Rebel 3rd turnover of the quarter. Rich has only taken a couple of shots in the quarter. One of those was a made 3 by TJ McKee. 24-22, South Summit can tie or take a lead here in the Stacy's Repair second quarter. Cernich to her right. Picks up the dribble, goes in. Sanderson, baseline, 10-foot jumper, bounces around and then out. Offensive board by the Wildcats. Can't get that to go. Christensen and Hatch tied up for a jump ball on the rebound. And the possession arrow should go to the Rebel. Oh, no, it's a foul. Oh, they'll call it a foul, and that's Sydney Hatch's second personal foul, and they say it's on the shot. That's peculiar because Presley Christensen didn't have possession. She was coming down with the ball as Hatch grabbed the ball as well. Maybe I didn't see it, what really happened. Alexis Atkinson holding her nose says, I need to head to the locker room. Rebels send in Allie Wallenstein, who picked up 2 quick fouls early. And we haven't seen her for a few minutes. Hatch takes a breather as well as she just picked up her second personal foul. 4:23 left in the Stacy's Repair second quarter, and there's some blood on the floor, so teams will clear the space. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Presley Christensen at the free throw line, swished the first and can tie it up with this second free throw attempt. She does. We were tied at 7 early in the first quarter, but since then it had been all Rebels until the start of this Stacy's Repair second quarter. South Summit has battled their way back into this. Stacy drives, puts it up and just can't quite get it to go off the back iron. Cernich, the South Summit rebound, up ahead. Sanderson to her right, tries to go right through Wallenstein. Easy call there. Charging foul. Sanderson's third. That's her third, unless I've got her. Yeah, that scoreboard confirms it on the Station on Main scoreboard. Great defense by Wallenstein. She saw Sanderson coming, planted her feet, and drew the charge. Sanderson, the leading scorer on this team, 10.9 points per game. She's had 5 as she goes to the bench with 3 personal fouls. Tied at 24 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Stacy up across the timeline, gives to Brown on the right wing. Tingy tries to drive, cut off, ball squirts loose, but Stacy comes up with it. She'll go all the way to the hoop and score. Right side, off the glass, 26-24. Stacy's got a green light right now with Sanderson not defending her. We'll see what kind of freedoms McKenna finds on penetration and maybe some drives and dishes and buckets. Stacy defending Malia Bowen, dribbling to her right, bounces in the corner. Wallenstein better be careful on Mimbach to avoid another foul. She's already got 2. Bowen across the top. Tingy reaches in, pokes it away, and a late whistle is a foul. Sage just picked up her second, Rebel 7th team foul. Free throws for South Summit. Sage says, is that me? Was that on me? Was that? That's about what she said when she got teed up at Lyman the other day. That's on me? That is her second personal foul, Rebel 7th. So a 1-and-1 at the line for Malia Bowen, averaging 0.4 points per game. And she gets the first one back iron and down through. Bowen earns a second. Sophomore smiles as her teammates say, hey, nice shot, you get one more. She can tie things up at 26 here on the Station on Main scoreboard in the Stacy's Repair second quarter. Bowen second, drops through. She hits them both and ties the score at 26. Stacy across the timeline. 1A Rebels at 3A South Summit Wildcats. Coming out to defend is Sadie Eiting, a junior, on Stacy. McKenna drives, dishes off, and Brown finishes from the right block. And that's what you need. If the double team comes, you dish it off. If it doesn't, you finish. Stacy knows that very well. Cernich does too, and she goes all the way to the hoop, up off the window and in, ties the score at 28. Cernich just weaving through traffic, and she's strong to fight through pressure and contact. Stacy left wing to Staple. Kendall to Brown, the top of the key. Left wing, Stacy was open. They get it to her. 3-point shot. Yes, it rattles through. McKenna Stacy for 3, and Rich takes a 3-point lead. Stacy with 14 in the game already. And the Rebels lead by 3, 38-21. Stacy defending Cernich. Can she stay in front? Cernich likes to use that off arm. She throws an elbow, then throws the arm off and dishes off for the easy 2. Bailey Cernich dishes to Sadie Eiting for the 2. 31-30. Rebels lead. Stacy drives in, dishes off for Brown. It's ping-ponged around. Stacy comes up with it, and she's fouled as she comes down with the loose ball. And Sadie Eiting picks up her second personal foul. Rebels inbound from the baseline. Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Stacy left corner. Wallentine fires away and back iron no. Cornea tips the rebound. Wallentine comes up with it, floats through the lane, and it rims out. Rebound Cernich. Oh, too bad for Rich. That was a great opportunity, and somehow that ball just didn't find its way through the hole. Eiding, Cernich inside, and she's bumped in the back. Stacy can't believe the call. She looked like she was straight up, must have thrown those hips out just enough to push Cernich and send Bailey to the free throw line with a chance to put South Summit on top. 1:52 left in the Stacy's Repair second quarter, and McKenna just picked up her second personal foul. Cernich misses off the left side of the iron. Stacy might be thinking ball don't lie about this moment in time as she heads for the bench. Stacy, Tingy, Wallentine, and Hatch with 2 fouls apiece. Nobody else with any fouls. It's Sanderson and Eiding with 2 fouls. Well, Sanderson 3, Eiding 2. As Cernich hits the second and ties the score at 31. Wallentine drives through everybody, floats and fouls. It gets fouled, and Wallentine will head to the line. The foul charged, number 2. There is no number 2. Oh, I missed the first 2. Bailey Cernich picks up her first, and Wallentine heads to the line to shoot 2 Bear Lake Realty free throws. High-scoring affair so far. Rebels this season, one of the better defensive teams in 1A, allowing 38 points a game. South Summit allowing 48 points per game, or just under that. Wallentine switches the first, puts the Rebels on top, can make it a 2-point game, and she does with a swish. 33-31, that's AWOL's first 2 points of the game. She's only taken 1 or 2 other shots and missed them. Cernich tries to drive, dishes off. Eiding, left baseline, bounces back to Cernich. She'll pick up the dribble. Gives back to Eiding again, left corner, launches the 3 and misses off the window. Staple had it, poked away on the floor. TJ races or dives down and grabs it and passes off to Staple. Great board by McKee. Staple in the lane, across the key. Cornea back to Brown, up top. McKee for 3. No, just off left, but Staple with the offensive board, put back too strong, and Cernich pulls down the rebound for South Summit. She'll dribble to her left, gets away with a carry, dishes off. Eiding in the lane, off the window, no. McKee, rebound almost tipped away from her, but she comes up with it. TJ pushing, tries to go through the defense, and an offensive foul. Malia Bowen read that well. McKee tried to step to her right, and Bowen stepped there first. So McKee picks up her first personal. That's a Rebel 9th team foul. 55.3 seconds left to go in the Stacy's Repair second quarter. South Summit with the basketball. Cernich averaging 10 points a game. She's got 9 already in this one. Dribbles to the top of the key, picks it up, backdoor cut. Bowen into Eiding, back outside. Cernich dribbles right, floats, and can't get it to go. A fight for the rebound, and Eiding pushed through 2 Rebels and knocked the ball out of bounds off of Rich. How that wasn't a foul, I don't know. So Mimbach inbounds for South Summit. Goes into the corner. Cernich out on the right wing. Bowen gives to Mimbach. Rebels defending her tightly. Back to Bowen around the top. To her left, Cernich. Across the top, sets a screen. Comes back the other way to set another one. Rebels switch defensively. Pass inside by Bowen. Tipped by Rich. Tipped back, and Eiding comes up with it. Rebel 4th turnover of the quarter with 7, 6, 5. Bowen to Eiding. Mishandles it. Picks it up. Launches a 3. It's an air ball. Mimbach out of bounds as time expires. And at the end of the first half, Rich leads 33-31 on the Station on Main scoreboard. This second quarter has been brought to you by Stacy's Repair. Need a repair? Take it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Eliana Brown with coverage of Rich High basketball on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds. Plus job listings, fun giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch live as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches, catch up on local and regional news, and get accurate weather conditions and forecasts. Visit mylocalradio.com, like us on Facebook, and stream it all now.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
33-31 at the half. The Rebels with a narrow lead over the South Summit Wildcats, who jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Rich went on a 15-0 run in that first quarter and never relinquished the lead. The South Summit tied it at 24 and 28, but Rich leads at the half by 2, 33-31. Both teams with a few players in some foul trouble. That will make things interesting in the second half. This is the halftime show with some first half highlights brought to you by Town of Randolph, coming up when we return on the Wildlife at mylocalradio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Berg Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
33-31 at the half on the Station on Main scoreboard. Station on Main, how convenient. Back on the halftime show. And some first half highlights brought to you by the Town of Randolph, Mayor Lynn Weston, board members Sim Bell, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and clerk Lana Peart. Again, South Summit jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but then Rich pulled things together and went on a 15-0 run. The Rebels have not given up that lead. The Wildcats tied it after they went on a bit of a run in the second quarter. In fact, Rich was up 21-14 at the end of the first quarter, and South Summit tied things up at 24. So that was a 10-3 run for the Wildcats, including 5 of 6 from the free throw line in that second quarter. Bailey Cernich led the Wildcats with 9 points. Kylie Mimbach had 7, all in the first quarter. Presley Christensen and Reagan Sanderson both scored 5 apiece in the second quarter, as South Summit outscored Rich 17-12 in that second period. Rich was led by McKenna Stacy's 14, Sage Tingy's 8, all in the first quarter. And then rounding out the scoring, Taylor McKee hit a 3. Allie Wallenstein had 2 free throws. Ellie Brown, Kendall Staple, and Sydney Hatch each had 2 points apiece. For South Summit, Malia Bowen had 2. I mentioned Sadie Eiding's 3, Bailey Cernich 9, Kylie Mimbach 7, and then Presley Christensen and Reagan Sanderson with 5 points apiece. Now, fouls will certainly play a factor in the second half as these teams come out. Certain individuals in or near foul trouble. Reagan Sanderson sat much of that second quarter, about half of that second quarter, with 3 fouls. Sadie Eiding has 2, Bailey Cernich with 1, and that's it. Just those 6 personal fouls in the first half for South Summit. The Rebels had 2 apiece on Stacy, Tingy, Walentine, and Hatch, with Taylor McKee having 1 personal foul. So that'll be interesting to see how things go, because that's 4 of the Rebels' 5 starters have 2 fouls apiece when we start third quarter action. These first half highlights are brought to you by the town of Randolph. Mayor Lynn Weston, board members Sim Bell, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and Clerk Lana Peart wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and go Rebels. 33-31 at the half on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick timeout. Rebels will be attacking this hoop to our left. If you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, that's the west side of the gymnasium here at South Summit High School. And we'll be back with second half action after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Pam Cornea with Town & Country Realty in beautiful Bear Lake enthusiastically supports the Rich High Rebels.
After all, I raised 4 of them, from football, basketball, wrestling to volleyball. I supported them all. I bleed blue.
The Caribbean of the Rockies, Bear Lake, offers a variety of activities in every season. Pam would love to assist you in finding your own Bear Lake retreat. Call her today, 435-779-0012.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by Cat Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at Cat Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah. Back at the half with Rich leading 33-31 on the Station on Main scoreboard. The JV lost 47-36. It was interesting to see during that JV game, Coach Dawson had gave some of these varsity starters quite a bit of time. In fact, at one point, through most of the third quarter, or through most of the second quarter, rather, we saw Sadie Eiding, and Presley Christensen and Reagan Sanderson, 3 of the starters, were on the floor at that time and played a lot of that game. In fact, Sanderson played a whole bunch of that JV game, probably 24 of the 32 minutes. And, boy, she's got plenty of energy. She's back out here to start quarter number 3. Our halftime highlights were brought to you by the town of Randolph, and third quarter action is presented by Epic Recreation. Rentals in Bear Lake. Visit epicrecreation.net. Or find them on Facebook. You can call 435-946-EPIC. That's 946-EPIC. Rebels have it to start third quarter action. To the right side, Tingy dribbles by, lays it up, and too strong off the window. Ellie Brown, offensive board. Putback is in. Ellie Brown makes it 35-31. Brown with, I've got that as her 5th rebound in the game, has 4 points as well. Down inside, Eiding loses control. Sydney Hatch, perfect defense, plants her foot on the baseline, and Eiding just couldn't control it. 8th turnover of the game for South Summit by my tally. Coach Dawson said he wants his team to control the ball better, limit turnovers. They've done that, with the exception of a bit of a stretch in the first half. Stacy dribbles to her left. Eiding gets away with a lot of contact, and the Rebels turn it over right back to South Summit. knocked the ball out of Stacy's hands to her knee and out of bounds. South Summit with the ball. Bailey Cernich, one of 2 seniors on the team. She and Kylie Mimbach. Cernich, right corner. Sanderson for 3. Rebels got out late, and Sanderson makes them pay. 35-34. Rich up by just 1. Sanderson's second triple of the ball game. Tingy up top, a lazy pass. Mimbach takes it away. Turns and dribbles. Wallentine pokes it away and steals it from behind. Just picked her pocket for the Rich County Government steal. Rich County Government's Rebels with a championship cause. Stacy on the right wing, fires one into Tingy, turns, shoots, misses through tons of contact, fights for the rebound and forces a nope. I think Tingy's just picked up her 3rd personal foul. And Coach Lundgren says, Sage, head for the bench now. So TJ McKee checks in. So Stacy has 2, so does Wallentine and Hatch, and Tingy now has 3. Reagan Sanderson on the court with 3 fouls. Mimbach, Rebels have switched to a man-to-man defense, or maybe it's a box and 1. They go up over the top to Atkinson. She turns and hits from the right block. 36-35. South Summit takes its first lead since they led 7-5 in the first quarter. Sanderson reaches in, pokes it away from Stacy. McKenna gets it back, goes to Wallentine, right corner 3 off the heel of the basket, and Cernich with position pulls down the rebound. She goes right into Stacy. Easy call there, charge. Cernich picks up her second, and that was a risky play for McKenna, but she knew what she was doing and planted her feet, drew the charge, took the contact, the hit, the fall to the floor, and drew the charge. That counts as a 3rd turnover of the quarter for South Summit. Stacy to Wallentine on the right wing. Fires right corner, TJ McKee. Looking, a couple of dribbles, almost threw it away, but kept it, then throws it to midcourt. Sanderson picks it up, and Stacy strips it back. Mimbach takes it out of bounds. Nope, Stacy touched it last, and the Rebels turn it over for a 3rd time in the 3rd quarter. Rich bitten by the turnover bug to start this 3rd quarter. They've got 1 shot made, 3 turnovers. 6:08 left in the Epic Recreation 3rd. South Summit leading by 1, 36-35. Staple deflects an inbound pass to the student section. And Mimbach will try it again. High pass over the top, gets to Christensen. Presley hands off to Cernich, who dribbles it off of the Rebels' feet. Mimbach drives, shoots. She's stuffed, but the Rebels can't control it, tip it out of bounds. Coach Dawson does his best impression of a shark to call the inbound play here, and Mimbach will inbound from the baseline. Lobs it in. Cernich dribbles once, past the D, up and in off the window. 38-35. Cernich with 11 points. Wallentine in the right corner. Cernich defending, dishes off. Hatch up high off the glass and in. So Hatch on the pass from Wallentine brings the Rebels to within 1, 38-37, early in the Epic Recreation 3rd quarter. Mimbach bounces right corner. Sanderson hops, shoots from the baseline, 18-footer just inside three-point range and misses. Hatch with the Rebel rebound. Stacy pushes up court, dishes across the lane to Brown, and Ellie finishes on the left side. She's got 6 points, and Rich retakes the lead, 39-38. Another candidate for the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet play of the game. A community-driven dealer, that's Auto Farm Chevrolet. Cernich dribbles right. Wallentine on her, lobs inside over the top to Atkinson. Turns and shoots too strong. Stacy with the Rebel rebound. She's got Staple in front, but she's going to baseball pass to Wallentine. A-Wall from the left baseline. Shot blocked. Wallentine gets it back, dribbles out to the right corner, skips it up top to Stacy, and McKenna settles into the half-court offense. Dribbles right, splits defenders, almost got it poked away, gets it back to Hatch. One dribble, too strong off the glass. Christensen the rebound for South Summit. Rebels got the shot they wanted. Hatch I think she was expecting a little more contact, and it didn't come as she took one dribble to get past the D. Cernich splits the defense and puts it in on the right side. Rebels got a little flat-footed defensively there, and Cernich has 13. McKenna drives, dishes off to Hatch, back outside. Wallentine, right wing three, too strong. Rebound long to Ellie Brown. Back up top to Wallentine. Good offensive board by Ellie. She's been big on the boards today. I've got her with 6. Staple fakes the shot, drives baseline across the lane. Minbach steps in front for the South Summit steal. Minbach across the timeline. Mishandles the dribble, but no defender on her, so no trouble. To Cernich on the left wing. Starts left, goes back right, gets past the D, puts it up and in, and she's fouled. And she's tough to defend. The strength, she just goes and she adjusts well. And it's not a super quickness. She just adjusts well to whatever the defense is trying to do or trying to deny. She goes the other way. So Cernich has 16 points. Make it 15. She can make it 16 with the free throw coming. The foul there was Allie Walentine's 3rd. And Cernich, 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Make it 2 for 3 as she hits that one. 3-point play completed. South Summit leads by 4, 43-39 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Stacy across the timeline. Long pass to Walentine in the right corner. Allie dribbles by the D, drives all the way in, floats it too strong. Christensen the rebound, and she throws some elbows. Walentine just trying to clear herself, and boy, Christensen getting a little aggressive. Cernich up to the right side. Pick and roll, nothing there. Back outside. Christensen dribbles, loses it, gets it back outside. Sanderson for 3, rims out, and the rebound on the floor. Atkinson had it, but lost it, and TJ McKee comes up with it for Rich. Up across the timeline. McKee backs it out. Sanderson meets her out near the timeline. Cornea thinks about a 3, instead goes to Hatch, turns and misses with the left short. Cernich with the rebound for South Summit. She lazily heads up court, and Stacy pokes it away from behind. Rich County Government steal. McKenna fakes the shot left side, drives in, up with the left and in, through the contact. No foul, should have been called, but Rich doesn't get that benefit here. 43-41, Rich trails by 2. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the Epic Recreation third. Sanderson hops through the lane, and she's fouled as she tries to go up for the shot. Reagan will go to the free throw line and shoot 2. For Rich, is that Cornea? Yeah, J.C. Cornea's first personal foul. Sanderson, we haven't seen her shoot any free throws yet tonight. She's got 8 points, make it 9. She swishes the first one through. She's a dead-eye shooter from deep. You'd expect her to be a good shooter from the free throw line as well. Eiding checks in. Walentine gets a breather. Allie with 3 personal fouls. And Sanderson can make it a 4-point game, and she does. Perfect swish. 45-41. Sanderson has 10 in the ball game. She averages 11. South Summit, though, as a team, averages about 45. They're already there. 45-41 with 2 minutes left in the Epic Recreation third quarter. McKee in some trouble in the corner, and Coach Lundgren calls a timeout and asks for a full timeout. This is the Epic Recreation third quarter. Rich trails 45-41 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Eliana Brown with coverage of Rich High basketball on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
Crawford Trough inbound play for the Rebels coming out of the timeout. 45-41 into Tingy. Backdoor cut. And McKee dribbles, tries to bounce it across to Hatch, and it's off the leg of a Wildcat. They'll call it a kick and give Rich another Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Stacy will inbound. Hatch down on the block, and we'll see if they lob it in for her. They do. Good pass just over the top of the defense. Back to Stacy. Drives around the lane, right side. Misses off the window, and Atkinson rips down the board for South Summit. Good rebound by Atkinson. Stacy tries to steal it back, then does poke it away from behind on Cernich. Another Rich County government steal for McKenna Stacy. McKee all the way to the other end. Shoots, and Cernich, or was that Eiting with the block? Out of bounds, Rebel basketball. Another Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Stacy to inbound. Bounces right side. Tingy one dribble, and she's hit from both sides. Little Sage Tingy Oreo cookie. And she'll go to the free throw line. Sadie Eiting picks up her third personal. And Sage Tingy at the line, shooting 2 Bear Lake Realty free throws. First one back iron. Tingy just a 55% free throw shooter. Had all of her 8 points so far in this game came in the first quarter. Second free throw back iron and down through, and the Rebels trail by 3, 45-42. Got to get some better defensive stops. Stacy poked the ball from Cernich. She grabbed it with 2 hands and kept the dribble alive. Long skip backs to Cernich, left wing, dribbles through the lane, drives or falls to the floor, lost the ball, and the Rebels take it. Surprised we didn't have a whistle there and a foul on a Rebel. 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the Epic Recreation third quarter. Stacy dribbles it back toward the top. Man-to-man defense for South Summit. McKenna mishandles the dribble. She was trying to do some kind of crossover. Luckily, Tingy was there to pick it up. Out on the right wing, Coach Lundgren calls a different play, and the Rebels reset. Tingy to Hatch at the left elbow. Lobs inside. Stacy looking back outside. Mimbach deflected it away out of bounds. And Rich will inbound. Another Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Our camera tonight is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. With beachfront room with a view or secluded mountain retreat. Buy now and start enjoying beautiful Bear Lake. Visit bearlakerealty.com. Stacy looking for Brown, in on the block. Nope, to Tingy, or to McKee rather. Then again to Stacy. Dribbles to her right. Left opens. McKee set the screen. Stacy hit the shot. We're tied at 45. McKenna with another T7 Propane and Woodruff three-pointer. Her third of the ball game. She's got 19 points, and the Rebels tied at 45. Left wing, Eiting drives into the lane, up with the right hand, too strong off the window. Rebound tip to Stacy. McKenna pushing up the right side, all the way to the hoop and in. McKenna Stacy coast to coast. Puts Rich back on top, 47-45. Great job by J.C. Cornea on the box out to give Stacy that rebound. Cernich lobs inside. Good pass to Atkinson, who had her defender sealed out. And Atkinson finishes. It went round and around the bowl and down through to tie it at 47. 13 seconds left. Stacy dribbles left, gets past the D, all the way to the hoop. Up off the window and in. McKenna with the finish. Gives her a total of 9 points in the quarter. Cernich launches well before the buzzer. Hits the glass, comes down. Brown dribbles a couple of times and ends the quarter. Rich leads 49-47 at the end of the Epic Recreation third quarter. For all your rentals in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net.
We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cash Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley.
Boy, both these teams shooting pretty good from the free throw line. The Rebels, 7 of 8. The Wildcats, 10 of 13. Even Steven in that third quarter, 16 points apiece in the Epic Recreation third quarter. And we head for the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital fourth. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 points for Cernich in the quarter. Sanderson had 5 and Atkinson had 4. 8 minutes left to go in this one, and the Rebels lead by 2, 49-47. Sanderson left wing, Mimbach for left corner 3. Can't get it to go, short off the front iron. Eiting with the offensive rebound for South Summit. They go down inside. Atkinson again off the window, too strong off the glass, and Eiting fouled as she had position for the rebound. Offensive board, and free throws. Nope, baseline inbound play. That's a 4th Rebel team foul. 2nd personal on J.C. Cornea. Sydney Hatch to the scorer's table to check in. Mimbach looking, and looks for Atkinson. She tipped it out of bounds. Nope, Rebels touched it. And South Summit will try again. Cornea checks out. Ellie Brown back in. She's got 6 or 7 rebounds and 6 points. She's had a good game. Mimbach looking to inbound. Still looking and just avoids a 5-second violation. Finds Eiting. Throws an elbow, kicks it outside. Sanderson for 3. Swish! 49-50. Sanderson with her 3rd triple of the game. Stacy across the timeline. Reagan has 3 fouls. She picked all 3 of those up in the first half. TJ dribbles to the left baseline, picks up the dribble and is in a bit of trouble. Bounces looking for Stacy. Sanderson steals it but steps on the sideline and out. So Rich will inbound from the sideline. Cernich checks back into the game. And Bowen heads for the bench. 50-49. South Summit on top. Wallenstein inbounds from in front of the bench. AWOL has not hit a field goal today. Has 2 free throws, and that's it. She's only attempted 2 or 3 threes. Coach Dawson knew that they needed to focus on her. Stacy in the lane, and tons of pressure. Boy, that's the longest jump ball, never called a jump ball in girls basketball history. Mimbach the other way, finishes, but a charge! Wallenstein drew the charge. And Mimbach picks up just her 1st personal foul. They got to wave the basket, so it stays at 50-49. The official goes over to the scorekeeper and says, yes, indeed, it is no basket. South Summit leads by 1, 50-49. Brown inbounds to Stacy. McKenna heads across the timeline and gives to McKee. Taylor looks to her left, looks right again, inches left. A few dribbles, back to her left. Double team comes, bounces to Stacy. Free throw line, Hatch turns, shoots, and back iron. No, can't get it to go. 5 for the rebound. Brown poked it away from Cernich, and South Summit has the ball out of bounds. 6:38 left to go. The Bear Lake Memorial Hospital 4th quarter. Rebels putting on some full court pressure. Cernich dribbles out of it. Sanderson, long pass, too long. Eiting cut in just as Sanderson released the pass. And the Wildcats turn it over. I've got these teams right about even on turnovers at 11 or 12 apiece unofficially. Sanderson meets Stacy at the timeline. McKenna drives, dishes off to Brown, back into the middle for Stacy. McKenna dribbles one, floats it up, and it hits the front of the rim and rolls over the top, 51-50. Stacy with 23, make it 25 in the ballgame. Mimbach left corner. Wallenstein on her. Mimbach dribbles toward her right to the wing, follows a screen, and kicks it across. Sanderson for 3, right wing. Yes! Reagan Sanderson, another. Goodness gracious. That's 16 points for Reagan Sanderson. Stacy drives, ball poked away off her knee, and they're going to give it to Rich. That was clearly off of Rich, but I thought I saw McKenna get hit on the arm. They should have called a foul. Instead, they just give it back to Rich. 53-51. Maybe it was just I had a good angle to see what happened. Stacy, the Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Wallenstein back to Stacy. McKenna thinks about the corner 3. Instead passes out to AWOL. Across the Staple on the left wing. Drives in, floats it up and hits. 15-foot floater from the left wing. Ties the score at 53. Kendall Staple with 4 points. Quickly up to Mimbach. Left corner, fakes the shot, drives, floats, and doesn't get it to go, but she's fouled. And Mimbach will head to the free throw line and shoot 2. Kylie Mimbach 1 for 2 at the line in this ball game. Plenty of time still left. 5:23 left in this Bear Lake Memorial Hospital 4th quarter. Rebels, boy, they've had some hard time stopping this South Summit offense. Mimbach well short on the front end. Kylie had 7 points in the first quarter, hasn't scored since then. Hit 2 threes in that first period. We'll see if she can add to her total and put South Summit back on top. It's Score tied at 53. Mimbach second, back iron and down through. 54-53, Wildcats lead. Stacy crosses the timeline. Sanderson picks her up high. McKenna fires left side to Tingy. Sage inside, Hatch up off the glass and in. She was posted down inside on the block and just kept that position as Tingy delivered the pass. Hatch with 6 points in the game, and Rich back on top, 55-54. Eiding lobs over the top. Atkinson misses off the bottom of the glass. A fight for the rebound. Will probably be a foul against Rich. And they call it against Kendall Staple. I thought there was a foul on the shot, and maybe that's why they decided to call the foul on the rebound instead, because they didn't get the foul on the shot. Inbound, Cernich turns up off the window and in. 56-55, Cernich with 18 in the ball game. Stacy dribbles to her right, spins back left, into the lane, through everybody, misses too strong, gets her own rebound, and she's hammered. Eiding from the front, Cernich from the back. We'll see who they call the foul on. It is Cernich with her third personal. Fourth team foul against the South Summit Wildcats. And Rebels sent up for a Crawford Trough and Randolph inbound play. Bounce into Hatch. Ball stripped away. She gets it back, shoots and misses. Atkinson with the South Summit rebound. And boy, if Rich is paying attention, she just threw that out into space to where toward Eiding was. And with Rich retreating to play defense. Inside, Atkinson. Staple comes over. Boy, she gave a sharp, quick look to the official after the whistle blew. She thought she got a queen block, and she may have. The foul was charged to J.C. Cornea, who just picked up her third. Rebels' seventh team foul puts Alexis Atkinson at the line, shooting 2. And the first one, iron and out, no good. T.J. McKee checks back into the game. Staple out after she just committed, I think, her third. Atkinson's second free throw could give South Summit a 2-point lead with 4:22 left to go. Back iron, no. Great box out by Hatch. And McKee with the rebound, and then a cheap little touch. Boy, Bailey Cernich, is that, boy, that's a ticky-tack whistle right there. We've had bodies fly into the floor, and then they call a little tiny thing like that. I'm just surprised. If I'm a South Summit fan, I'd be going nuts about that whistle. Whether it was a foul or not, we've seen way more contact not called tonight. T.J. McKee to inbound. Rebels trail 56-55. McKenna across the timeline, just midway through the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital fourth. Tingy in the lane, draws the foul. Clear call there. Ball kept moving, arms got smacked, and Tingy goes to the line to shoot 2. Sage has 9. Looks to make that 11, can give the Rebels the lead if she hits both. We'll see. The foul, after some discussion, they decide it was Sadie Eiding called for the foul. And McKenna Stacy has on her knee some blood coming through a bandage or through a knee pad, so Rich will have to take care of that business. Allie Wallentine checks in as Tingy steps to the line. And if Coach Lundgren could tell Tingy something, he'd say, Sage, take your time here, hon. Sage rattles the first one out. Again, Tingy about a 55% free throw shooter. She missed the first, hit the second on 2 free throws in the third quarter. The second one can tie the score, and does. Tied at 56. Tingy with 10. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Stacy still tending to her knee. She's on the end of the bench. Tingy, McKee, Cornea, Hatch, and Wallentine on the floor. Cernich dribbles to her left. Tingy on her. Sanderson right wing. Good pass. Sanderson got it off the heel of the basket. Plunks down through. The Chicago Bears wish they could get that kind of a doink. And the South Summit Wildcats do get the doink. Rebels miss the shot. Cernich the rebound. Cornea strips it away. McKee tied up for the jump ball. Possession arrow, Rich Rebels. Boy, Reagan Sanderson, sometimes they just fall, and that was a bonk and down through. 59-56, Wildcats on top. Sanderson has 19 in the game. Brown looking for Wallentine. Rebels trying to set up an opportunity for her to shoot the 3. Pick and roll. Tingy in the lane. Fights through. Misses the shot. Stacy the offensive board. Put back is good. 59-58. Stacy with 29 in the ball game. That may be a career high. I'd have to look back. Cernich dribbles to her right, back outside. Eiding for three. Yes! Sadie Eiding with her first three of the game. Rebels paying so much attention to Bailey Cernich and Reagan Sanderson that they left Eiding wide open. She made them pay. Rebels to Stacy in the lane. Too strong off the glass. A lot of contact. She got pushed in the back. And the rebound, South Summit, 62-58. Wildcats up by 4 with 2:50 left to go. Rebels came in at 6-0. Cernich dribbles to her left. Up top, Atkinson back to Cernich. Tingy defending. Cernich drives left hand. No, couldn't get it to go. Rebound tipped, and Atkinson grabs the rebound, drugged the pivot foot about 6 feet, then dished off to Sanderson, who traveled, and they called that second one. And a timeout on the floor with Rich trailing 62-58, 2:35 to go in the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital fourth quarter.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Eliana Brown with coverage of Rich High Basketball on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Sanderson came in shooting 19 of 60 from three-point range. That's about 33%. A little less than a third of her three-point shots made. Rebels work it to Brown inside. Cornea in traffic. Loses her balance, and a kick against Rich. They turn it over. 13th turnover of the game for Rich. I've got South Summit with 14. Rich needs a defensive stop. 17 fouls for Rich, 16 fouls for South Summit, so we'll shoot free throws the rest of the way for both teams. Cernich taking her time. Rebels in a man-to-man defense, letting Cernich just dribble back and forth across the top. She gets away with a couple of carries. Dribbles to her right. Goes down to the baseline, back outside. Sanderson fakes the three, drives and finishes. Again, Rich so concerned with her three-point shot that they let her just drive on by and finish. Stacy dribbles left, Tingy on the left wing. Sanderson has 21 points. Rebels led by McKenna Stacy's 29. Walentine inside, Tingy misses, too strong off the window, and a strong rebound by Sanderson, or Atkinson, but Tingy steals it and she's fouled as she goes back up. So if that's Cernich, that's her fifth. No, it's not Cernich, it's Alexis Atkinson with her first. So Tingy with the Rich County government steal. And she's fouled on the putback attempt. Sage will go to the line and shoot 2 more Bear Lake Realty free throws. And she misses the first. She'll shoot a second. She's made it a habit tonight to miss the first. And so far, through 2 previous trips to the line, she's hit the second. We'll see if she can do that here. Would make it a 5-point deficit for Rich. 64-58. Tingy at the Bear Lake Realty free throw line got the second one, and it is a 5-point Rebel deficit. Cernich across the timeline through Rebel pressure. Stacy comes out to defend. Cernich splits a couple defenders, passes looking for Sanderson. Tingy has it. It's off of Sanderson's leg, out of bounds. Rebel. Oh, that was clearly off of Sanderson's leg from what I saw. But the official closer, he must have seen it go off a fingertip of Tingy. Eiding, left corner, Mimbach steps on the toe on the line, misses the three, and Hatch, perfect box out, pulls down the Rebel board. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. Stacy drives, dishes. Brown, one dribble, gets by the D, lost her balance. Stacy with the offensive board, back outside. Walentine, three, left wing, no. Just off the left side. Atkinson the rebound, one dribble, pivots around, gives to Eiding. Rebels pressuring, trying to force a turnover. They might have to foul here. Stacy pokes it away from Eiding. She throws an elbow, and then Coach Dawson takes a timeout to avoid a 10-second violation. I'll tell you what, this South Summit team has worked it to an art of how to use that off arm to keep the defense away, but not get called for the foul. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service.
They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Coming out of the timeout, Mimbach inbounds, looking for Cernich, and Tingy fouls her. That was a kind of a wild pass, and Tingy, like a defensive back in football, just didn't ever turn her head to look for the ball, or else she could have just turned and grabbed it. 5-point South Summit lead, and Cernich goes to the line to shoot 1 and 1. In this game, Cernich 2 for 3 at the free throw line, and she hits the first. Swish. 19 points for Cernich in the ball game, all from inside the arc. She has not taken a three-point shot. 65-59. Cernich second, off the iron, short, and Wallenstein with a Rebel rebound. A 6-point South Summit lead. Wallenstein down to the right corner, looks inside, finds Brown across the lane. Hatch all alone, finishes left block. Off the window and in. Rich needs a turnover or to get a quick foul, and Stacy fouls Reagan Sanderson. I don't know if that's who you want to foul. She's 2 for 2 from the free throw line and has 5 three-pointers in the game. Reason tells us she's one of their better shooters. McKenna Stacy's third personal foul with 34.3 seconds to go. Reagan Sanderson at the line, shooting 1 and 1. She played most of the JV game, and boy, she must have had a couple of Red Bulls before the game. Maybe she stopped at the station on Main in Randolph and grabbed a couple of energy drinks, because she's got 22 points and can make it 23. And just gets it to go. It hit the front iron and bounced over the top and in. 67-61. Wildcats on top by 6. Wallenstein, right corner three. Oh, just off. Stacy fights for, gets the offensive rebound, a fight for it. And possession arrow, South Summit. McKenna comes down with some pain on her right hand. Rebels need to get a takeaway. Inbound easily to Sanderson. Stacy tries to get her from behind. Brown gets her instead from in front. And Sanderson will go back to the line with 19 seconds left to go. South Summit. It's a 6-point lead, so either one of these free throws makes it a 3-possession ball game with just 19 seconds to go. Now we're in the double bonus, so Ellie Brown just picked up her first personal, and Sanderson will shoot 2. Short off the front iron, no. Sanderson has 23 points. She can make it 24 with this next free throw. It would, again, make it a 3-possession ball game, and it rattles out. Brown, the Rebel rebound, quickly up to McKenna Stacy. Up to the left wing. Sanderson comes out to defend. Stacy misses short. Rebound Mimbach, and that will probably just about do it unless Rich wants to play out these final few seconds and foul. They do, and Cernich will go to the line and shoot 2. The foul against Rich. Sage Tingy. Sage Tingy's not on the floor. Sage Tingy just fouled out, and she wasn't even on the floor. She goes to the end of the bench. I don't know if she realized it. Was she on? Did she just check out? Did I just miss something? Oh, did she just went straight to the bench? So Cernich at the line. Missed the first and missed the second. Brown, another Rebel rebound, and the Rebels push. They need a 3 and then another quick 3. Staple misses short. Fights for her own rebound. Atkinson hit it out of bounds. A whistle and then the horn. And South Summit hands Rich its first loss of this season. South Summit improves to 7-5. The Rebels dropped their first game, 6-1 overall this season. Gary, thanks for running camera tonight. Gary McKee at Bear Lake Realty. Final score 67-61 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll have some final stats and highlights for you on the post-game show, including the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
South Summit attempted as many free throws just in that fourth quarter as Rich attempted in the entire game. That's how aggressive they were tonight. 14 of 25 from the line, Rebels 9 of 12, and Rebels get handed their first loss of this young season. I'll tell you more about it now on the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meet. South Summit jumped out to a 7-0 lead as they came into this game at 6-5 overall, the Rebels 6-0. But Rich quickly turned things around, went on a 15-0 run and led 17-8 late in the first quarter. But South Summit, of course, didn't give up. Way too early for that. They battled back and went on a 10-3 run to start the second, tied the score at 24, and it was tight the rest of the way. Rebels had a narrow lead up to 3, 4, 5 points at times, but South Summit would bounce back or fight back and get up by a few points here and there. Then late in the fourth, South Summit pushed out to a 6-point lead, and Rich struggled to score down the stretch. Rebels couldn't hit free throws, and South Summit, they missed a lot of free throws late, but they got to the free throw line a ton, 12 times in the fourth quarter alone, and South Summit held on for a 67-61 victory to hand Rich its first loss of the season. The Rebels dipped to 6-1. South Summit improves to 7-5. That's your final score, 67-61, and your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. 113 Front Street in Evanston, Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meet. All right, we've got more of the post-game show coming up, including the McKay Frankham Dental Services Precision Play, the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet Shot and Play of the game, plus the LSR Refrigerated Adjustment of the game when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
When shopping for a vehicle, it's important to have a good selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. It's also important to have a knowledgeable salesperson that listens, a finance team that helps you get the payment that matches your pocketbook, and a smart office staff that makes sure all the paperwork is done right. You can always rest assured knowing that our whole team is working for you. Auto Farm Chevrolet, stop in today. We're a community-driven dealer.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Back for more post-game coverage at Rich High School. We're comparing some stats here. 6. But she had a couple there in the fourth quarter. Ellie Brown had a couple down the stretch. I think I had her with 8, but we'll find out what Coach Brown had her for. She had a good game tonight, 6 points and at least 6 rebounds, but the Rebels fell just short. 67-61, and Reagan Sanderson, a career night, 23 points, including 5 three-pointers, and she hit some free throws through the third and fourth quarters that proved big. 67-61 the final on the station on main scoreboard. We move along in our post-game coverage with the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet shot and play of the game. And the Rolene Kennedy shot of the game, I think, will go to, I'm trying to find exactly where it was. A three-pointer early on from Rich. It was McKenna Stacy. Rich, South Summit went on a 7-0 run, and I started to get a little bit nervous, but Rich Rebels did not. They turned things around, went on a 15-0 run, and Sage Tingey had 8 points as part of that run. McKenna Stacy had a 3 that really got things going there in the first quarter, and that's your Rolene Kennedy shot of the game. Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet play of the game was the way the Rebels played against South Summit's press in the first half. And there were a couple of times I could speak about specifically, but overall, the way the Rebels played against that press was impressive, and that's what I want to refer to and give the Rolene Kennedy play of the game, is that Rich played against that full court press well. They didn't turn the ball over. They took care of it. They beat the press, got some easy buckets, and it was a really great play. Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet, a community-driven dealer. The McKay Frankham Dental Services Precision play of the game. That came, again, there were a lot of plays we could look to, and I think the one that we'll go to on this one, Rich was down 38-37 midway through the third, and this play put them back on top. Stacy got through a little bit of half-court trap, drove in, dished off. Ellie Brown finished to put Rich up 39-38 at that point. And that was a big play from Stacy to Brown. Ellie finished with 6 points, and I had her with 8 rebounds unofficially, but she was big on the glass tonight. And Rich, nice play there. McKay Frankham Dental Services. Dental care at reasonable rates for the whole family, 789-8910. That's 307-789-8910. And the LSR Refrigerated adjustment of the game, LSR Refrigerated in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Wallentine family wish the Rebels good luck. And that adjustment came, again, after South Summit jumped out to a 7-0 lead right off the bat. Rich adjusted, and what they adjusted to was handling the press and playing better defense, and went on a 15-0 run. Can't get better adjustment than that. LSR Refrigerated in Garden City. Well, stay tuned. We've got more of your postgame coming up. We'll hear from Jaden Rao, a Rebel junior and member of the wrestling team, when we return on our Rebel Sports Update. We'll also look ahead at what's coming up the rest of the weekend in Rich County sports. And we got a full slate of games this weekend on K9 and KADQ with Mountain View, Lyman, Evanston, and Rich playing games, most of those at the Flaming Gorge Classic. So we'll cover that when we return as well. That's coming up on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com when our post-game show continues.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites.
4551.
This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium, offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites. The guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Lake Down Mayor Bernadette Weston and Council Member Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The Town Council and citizens of Lake Town celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
North Summit creamed this team. Welcome back to the post-game show. Some more highlights and stats here on the post-game show. McKenna Stacy led all scorers with 27 in the game. Sage Tingey finished with 11. Sydney Hatch had 8. And others for Rich, Ellie Brown, 6, 4 for Kendall Staple, 2 for Allie Wallentine, and 3 for Taylor McKee. South Summit was led by Reagan Sanderson's 23, a career high for her, 19 from Bailey Cernich, and then 8 by Kylie Mimbach. Sadie Eidings pitched in with 6, Presley Christensen 5, and Alexis Atkinson had 4. 67 points, I believe the highest output of the season for this South Summit team. I should double check that before I go saying things, but let's see. Yeah, they scored 65 in a loss against Skyview. And so, yeah, 67 is their highest scoring output of the year. Rich scored 62 earlier this year, wasn't it, in that win over Valley? Yeah, 62-30. Beat Bear Lake 57-50 in overtime. But so this is the second highest scoring output of the season. But unfortunately for Rich, a loss. The dreams of an undefeated season come to an end. But if you're going to talk about losing a game, a few, 6-7 games into the season, a narrow loss at a 3A Utah team, not a bad loss. That won't hurt Rich in the RPI. And Rich will get back on the court tomorrow at Westside. Trying to get things going again against the Pirates, who they beat earlier this year. Handled them pretty well, 56-30. Yeah, 56-30. All right, we're going to move along in our post-game coverage and hear from a Rebel junior wrestler. The Rebels tonight hosted Bear Lake in a duel, and they'll continue the season tomorrow at Kemmer as well. So we'll hear more about it from one of the Rebel wrestlers right now on the Rebel Sports Update. With Jaden Rao, a junior at Rich High School. Thanks so much for your time today, Jaden.
You're welcome.
You're at 182 this year in wrestling?
Yes.
What did you wrestle at last year?
I didn't wrestle last year, but I wrestled my freshman year, and I wrestled 145.
Oh, wow. So a good 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a lot stronger, bigger over the last couple of years?
Yes, I have. I've noticed that in football and wrestling.
What do you notice about the differences of those weight classes, the 145 versus 182?
45 was way competitive. They're pretty big, stocky kids. And 182, same difference, but a little bigger.
A little bigger, stronger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember when you first started wrestling? Did you start as a little kid, or was your freshman year your first time wrestling?
I started as a little kid in 3rd grade, and then I went until 6th grade, and then I stopped, and then I did it my freshman year.
So how did things go for you at Marsh Valley?
They went good. They were pretty tough kids, but I just wrestled the best of my abilities. Kept up with them.
You kept up with them. You didn't lose, right?
Yeah.
You're being modest here, Jaden. Tell me about some of the matches. Did you pin everybody? Were they close matches? How did it go?
I pinned everybody. The longest match I had in Marsh Valley was 1 minute and 11 seconds. The others were 50, 26, 24, and 23 seconds. So it went pretty good.
That's pretty good. You have a goal for yourself? Do you feel like you have a realistic chance of winning a region title or qualifying for state? Anything?
Yeah, I think I have a chance at placing at both. So,
Jaden, how did the team do overall at Marsh Valley?
We did pretty good. There was some wins and there was some losses. There's 3 of us that went undefeated, and the others, they did really good. I didn't get to see 3 of us wrestle because they went to the varsity.
Every day in the wrestling room, who are you wrestling against? Who's getting you toughened up? Who are you giving a challenge to?
I'm wrestling against Buckwheat, Colton Johnson, or Neely Cornea or Riker. Pretty much everybody in the higher weights. So,
do you have a go-to hold or move, like for a takedown? What is your preferred way to take somebody down?
Double leg.
And then once you get them down, do you have a go-to pinning combination?
Yeah, either a half or a cradle.
What do you feel like your biggest weakness is in wrestling? What do you need to get better at if you want to maybe win a state title or finish high this year?
I need to get really better at bottom moves, get out quicker.
A little bit more about the team wrestling this weekend, or this week. You've got another home duel with Bear Lake?
Yes.
They're pretty tough. It seems like you've competed with them the last couple of years, and they've been very good.
Yeah, they have.
And then Friday at Kemmer, is that another tough? Is that a tournament, or is that just with Kemmer?
That's a tournament.
Are there any other duels or matches or tournaments this year that you're looking forward to in wrestling?
The Bear Lake tournament I'm looking forward to, and the regions that's home this year.
That'll be fun. In February 1st, the divisional tournament here, that'll be fun to have the home crowd. Did you feel like the home crowd showed up well for Big Piney last week?
Yes, it did. It helped.
Jaden Rao, junior at Rich High School, thanks so much for your time, man. Good luck with Bear Lake and Kemmer this week, and best of luck the rest of your junior year.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Jaden Rao. Rebels tonight hosted the Bear Lake Bears. The Rebel boys basketball team was in action, lost to Manila 60-something to 45. Rebel boys will get back at it tomorrow against Pinedale. Rebel girls back at it at Westside. We'll tell you more about the rest of this weekend, including a bunch of games with Evanston, Mountain View, Lyman, and others at the Flaming Gorge Classic that you can watch live on mylocalradio.com and listen to here on KDQ and K9, our sister station. We'll tell you more about that right after this on mylocalradio.com and KADQ. As one of the region's most visited websites, mylocalradio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Check the weather forecast or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit mylocalradio.com today to stream it all live. South Summit 67, Rich 61 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels suffer their first loss of this young season. I guess we're almost a third of the way through for South Summit. That was game, they improved to 7-5, so that was game number 12 of the year. And as we move along in our post-game coverage, we've got plenty going on the rest of this weekend. Rebel boys lost to Manila tonight. They'll take on Pinedale tomorrow at 2:40. Now, unfortunately, with the scheduling of Rich, the boys at the Flaming Gorge Classic and the girls at Westside, I was hoping the boys would play earlier, then I could cover that and head to Westside, but that's not the case. So the choice, we'll go to the Westside Pirates game, cover the girls with JV at freshmen at 4, JV at 5:30. Our varsity pregame will start at 6:20 tomorrow night from Dayton, Idaho. The Rebels will take on Pinedale. And that game, I think, is available to watch on SVInews.com through Star Valley Independent News, so SVInews.com at 2:40 tomorrow afternoon. Then Saturday, the Rebel boys continue play at the Flaming Gorge Classic, and we will cover Rich versus Mountain View and a pregame just before or just after 11 o'clock. I've got double duty that morning with Evanston versus Worland at 9:40. And then directly following that, Rich versus Mountain View. So we'll get on with the pregame show of Rich Rebel Ball just as soon as possible Saturday morning. Also, the Rebel wrestling team is in action tomorrow at the Kemmer tournament. And weigh-in is at, I think, 8 a.m. with matches beginning at 10 a.m. Also on Saturday, University of Wyoming men's basketball in action, and that we'll join that game in progress as the Cowboys play at Denver University against the Pioneers. The tip-off is set for 1, so as soon as our Rebel broadcast against Mountain View finishes up, we'll join the Cowboys at the Pioneers in progress right here on KADQ. Now, also, you should know through the rest of the weekend, plenty of games and coverage. Evanston versus South, the girls tomorrow at 12:30 on K9. Grace versus Riverton is an online-only broadcast tomorrow at 2:30. Mountain View versus Jackson girls will be with Jake Hibbard at 4:10. Utah State football in the Frisco Bowl tomorrow versus Kent State, and that one's on our station up in Preston, KACH. Tomorrow night at 6:30 or 6:20, Rebel girls basketball pregame show starts at Westside, and then also if you're interested, tomorrow night the 3-point and slam dunk contest at the Flaming Gorge tournament. Elin Olive and Jake Hibbard will have an online-only broadcast beginning at 7:45 tomorrow night from Green River High. Then on Saturday, we've got Evanston versus Worland boys on K9. I'll have the call on that with pregame at 9:30. That'll be directly followed by Evanston versus Laramie, the girls, and Elin will have that game on K9. And then Rich versus Mountain View boys here on KEDQ. Saturday at noon, I mentioned the Cowboys at 2:30, Evanston boys versus Westside, Idaho. And that one's on K9, 99.1 FM. And then the final game of the evening, 5:50 p.m., Mountain View takes on Green River Girls. And Jake Hibbard will have the call on that. So plenty of games going on this weekend at the Flaming Gorge Classic. And you can hear and watch a bunch of them on K9, KEDQ, and mylocalradio.com. That's going to do it for our broadcast here at South Summit. The Wildcats earn the victory 67-61 over the Rich Rebels on the station on main scoreboard. Join us tomorrow when Rich Rebel girls play at Westside. Our pregame starts at 6:20 right here on KDQ and mylocalradio.com. For tonight's videographer, Gary McKee, our producer, Alyssa McDaniel back in the studio. I'm Ryan STEINECKERT. We'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School basketball on Rebel Radio, KADQ-FM 98.3 with live video online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals. Evanston Regional Hospital, Plains Tire of Evanston, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, The Store, by the Come On In of Casper, Auto Farm Chevrolet, the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the expressed written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's Elin Olive, the Bridger Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production group Preston Bush, AJ Lamb, and Alyssa McDaniel. Biggest thanks to all of our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches. And like mylocalradio.com on Facebook to stay up to date with game broadcasts. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Basketball on KADQ-FM 98.3 and online at mylocalradio.com. Until next time.